As if you said wet dream in church. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shabaz and this is Shabaz Says. Every Tuesday on my Instagram stories, I'll be asking you, the Povvo gang, a question for you to spill some Povvo tea. Confessions, stories, updates, likes, dislikes, opinions, whatever it is, make sure to get involved every Tuesday, and then every Thursday, I'll be uploading it in a video. Right, enough of the intro, let's get on with it. This is Povvo-Tea. So this week's question was asking you guys to share your embarrassing stories, and my God, some of you need Jesus. What's my most embarrassing story? My most embarrassing story, I accidentally wet myself. So basically a couple of years back, and this is like literally a couple of years back, I was dying for a wee. I don't go for a wee to the public toilets, right? So I drove all the way back from London on a full bladder. So I got home and I thought, right, I'll get upstairs, I'll run upstairs, right? Got to the front door and I was like dying, desperate. And then I put my key in the lock and the key broke. So I just had to let it go.
Let it go, let it go.
But the worst thing was my neighbour decided at this very moment to have a conversation with me, ask me how my mum was, and I was just stood there having this conversation with this woman with the wee trickling down my leg and coming out the bottom. Even when I think about it, what was she thinking? Because she looked down and she looked at me and she just kind of like went really red and then ran off. Oh no. I get really embarrassed when people say happy birthday to me. I don't know how to respond. So sometimes when somebody said happy birthday to me, I replied with like, oh, thank you, happy birthday. I've done it before where like somebody says something that you can't say, like you too. So for example, when cinema, they're like, enjoy your movie. I've gone, oh, you too. But they're not watching a movie, so why are you telling them to enjoy their movie? That's just, oh, I get so embarrassed so easily. I'm the worst person for it. So someone shared that jumping on an in-ground, do you mean inside? Inside or in-ground, I don't know, I don't know if that's good England. Jumping on an inside, I'm gonna say inside, right? Trampoline and bossing everyone off in order to have it to myself by saying I'm about to do something really dangerous and promptly falling into the metal guardrail, smashing my mouth, busting 2 teeth out. So that went well. I would die, especially because I can imagine you've gone in there like proper boss man, like, excuse me, I'm gonna do something dangerous, and then all of a sudden fallen over, smashed your face, bust 2 teeth. I don't know if there were kids around, they would have started laughing because kids don't care, do they? Okay, I feel that for you. I feel it. I'd say you live down a fall, but I don't think you do. When I was teaching, first day of teaching, right, they used to have these like cages. You can move the cage around, but it's like a square cage where you can put all your bags in, and then it went up into a coat hanger, so the coat hanging on there. Somebody's coat fell, so I went to go and grab their coat, but I tripped. I fell into the cage. Bear in mind, I fell face first into this cage. So it's not like I could just get myself out unless somebody came and physically helped me. I'm there, legs in the air, facing you. The kids are laughing. No one comes to help me for a couple of minutes. And eventually some kids like, sir, you alright? Do you want me to give you a hand? They're laughing. A suggestion was made in Sunday school for a church youth activity, and thinking I was hilarious, I responded with, not in your wet dreams. Are we doing that? Not me thinking a wet dream was peeing the bed. As if you said wet dream in church. On a scale of 1 to I want to die, that's definitely a 9. Because everyone would have gone, oh. I was at work and in a rush. There was another person in the stall next to me, so I feel sure they knew I pooped. I saw her shoes and she saw mine. She was also apparently waiting for me to leave because she was just sitting there. Anyway, I had a massive poo. Thought I'd flushed it, but I didn't check. I kind of panicked, scared that the person next to me would know. I just left. Apparently though, someone had to get the plunger to make it flush because there was plungers available in both stalls the next day when there weren't any before. I feel horrible. After reading body language, or maybe I'm super paranoid, I think I know who it was, and she's telling everyone on the staff who will listen. I would love to clear the air and ask her not to talk about it, but I can't. Don't do it. I don't know what else to do other than keep showing up at working. I can't talk about leave work. I'm telling you now, leave it. Just leave, because you can't go up to her and be like, listen, I was pooing and it was my poo that they needed to help plunge her down and flush, don't tell anyone. Or the alternative is go around and pretend it's hers. That's the only thing you got to do. Go around and tell everyone that I saw her in the toilets. I think it was her. I think she's the poo head. Went to see the Red Sox play the Padres in San Diego. I'm assuming Red Sox is baseball. It could be baseball, basketball, or American football. I got blackout drunk. Stayed at the Hilton because I was too drunk to drive home. Several hours later, I had to pee, so I got up and forgot where I was. I woke up in the bright lights of the hallway. Just as my door was locking behind me, I was completely naked. I pushed my front side up against the wall and covered my ass with my hands for about an hour until someone was going into their room and asked them to call the front desk. I'm a tiny woman and they sent me the biggest man ever to give me a towel and let me in. I was mortified. I am gutted on behalf of you. I mean, the fact that you had to stand in the hallway completely butt naked, I just can't imagine it. Oh, I would die. I would die. Fell in the river during a school trip at 16, wet and smelled like slime the whole day and evening at the movie. That is tight, innit? Imagine at 16 you fall in a river and then you have to be wet in the movies. That's tight. Oh, honestly, do you really need to campaign trail right this very second? I'm trying to record a video. I'd not long had spinal surgery when I was on my driveway doing some dog training when I went weak and fell to the floor. My dog thought I was playing, ran at me, dived his 35 kg self on top of me. I was trying to push him off, which got him a little bit overexcited. He got off me as I was on all fours crawling to the wall to help myself stand up. He started humping me. At that moment, my neighbour walks past and the gate and just stares at me. I was too embarrassed to speak. Worst part, I was wearing a leopard print onesie with a cat's face on the front, so my neighbour must think I crawl around the driveway on all fours dressed as a cat for the dog's pleasure. That is messed up. Mate, they will go home and be like, hey, have you heard? Have you seen the neighbour? She crawls around on all fours and gets the dog to hump her. I jump scared a stranger at the cinema thinking it was my 10-year-old. I've done that. I can relate. I've jumped out so many people. I love scaring people, and I've jumped out and I scared this woman so badly that she fell, popcorn, drink everywhere in the cinema as well. That's so tight. Yeah, I can relate. That I was embarrassed by that. I literally just went, I'm so sorry, and they just ran off. I didn't pay for a new popcorn. Drove my bike into a canal, went on the bike tour of Amsterdam. Had to be pulled out and then hosed down. Oh, the amount of people on those bridges and those canals that would have seen you. Absolutely gutted, pal. Oh, no. No, I can't even think about it. One time, right, there was these glass doors that one slid this way, one slid that way, right? So what happened, it was raining and I thought, I really don't want to get wet. So I got out of my car and I leapt towards the glass doors. Now thinking that the door was going to open this way, but instead it was the other one. I went and smacked myself right into the double door because it was already open. Right, I bounced off it, smacked off it, and the place was filled. Oh, I don't remember it because obviously I was concussed, but it was pretty embarrassing. I even think about it now. And there's a guy, James Terrick, who was there, and he always reminds me of this. We mistook a statue at Madame Tussauds for a real lady and waited behind her for a photo. Oh, stop it. I've done that with cars, where there's been a parked car and I've parked up behind it, waiting until I realise that I'm stood behind a parked car and there's no traffic. Yeah, listen, don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. At my prom, I fell face first off the stage in front of my whole class and everyone's parents. That is bad, innit? That is bad. Do you know what I would have done? Burnt the whole place down, Carrie style. Went to buy sexy lingerie and the shop owner was my 7th grade science teacher and remembered me. It's not too bad unless it was a male teacher and you were a female. That would be embarrassing. I think if it's a female teacher, it's just kind of like, Hi, miss. Yeah, I think that would be embarrassing. I'd just be like, oh, wow, you were one of my pupils. Yeah, I think as a teacher, I'd be like, yeah. Someone waved at me, so I saw this random couple excitedly wave at me in the crowd, so I went back with the same excitement. Sadly, they were waving to their friend behind me. I think everyone's had that. I genuinely think everyone's had that as well. I mean, it gets worse, right? Because at least you only waved at them. Someone came in, was waving, and I went because I can't see anything. It's the worst thing. Sometimes people say, oh, you looked at me out and about, and I'm like, did I? And I just ignore them because I don't know who they are because I can't see. And they were like, and one time I couldn't see, but I thought this person's waving at me, and I went up to them and I hugged them because I thought they were coming at me with a hug. They weren't even doing it to me. I was finishing an exam and I was walking out a few minutes late because of it. There was less people. I got ran into from behind by a kid on a bike and fell down and got up really quickly after, so I don't remember much. But I grazed my knee and my elbow, so I think I fully fell over. I don't even care about being hurt. I just want to know, if you saw someone get hit by a bike but then got up quick and kept walking, would you think that's embarrassing? The kid who hit me fell completely off. Now see, I don't know. I'm like that. I get embarrassed over the stupidest things, right? So I would probably be embarrassed over that, but why should you? Like, if you get run over, why are you embarrassed? why are you embarrassed by that? But you kind of are, innit? It's kind of embarrassing. If I saw somebody get hit by a car, I'd be more like, or by a bike, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't be embarrassed for them. Oh my God, guess what happened to me one time, right? I was in an underground car park, and do you know, like when the lights off and then they come on as you move out because they're like censored, but these lights didn't come on, so I was reversing, looked in my mirrors, didn't see anyone, looked in the back mirror, couldn't see anyone, so I reversed. Next minute I hear a thud and I hear oh, and I thought, what have I done? Open the door, like sort of like leaned out, open the door, and there's a woman, Zimmer frame, old woman on the floor, fully knocked over. I've just knocked over an old woman. So obviously I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, have I killed her? Next minute she gets up, she toddles on. I open the door and I was like, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. But I was so embarrassed. So that's kind of stuff I was really embarrassed by, because I was like, oh my God, I nearly killed this old woman. Also, she broke my tail light, so I was really fuming about that. I was going to ask her for money, but I thought I kind of knocked you over, and she, you know, so maybe I shouldn't, maybe it's a bit cheeky, innit? Oh my God, I just remembered something, right? One time, right, I was in this, this is so dumb. I placed my order and I said, so I placed what I needed to order and I said to the cashier, anything else? And the worst thing is he could have let it go, but instead what he did was he went, why are you asking me anything else? I'm serving you. Long story short, I was doing my girlfriend washing when she was at work, and I thought, why not, and put some on. She came back early. She came back early, mortified, and went absolutely crazy. I don't know what to do, but I'm beyond embarrassed. Why did you put it on in the first place? Like, what possessed you to put her clothes on? Was hanging out with a platonic male friend. When I visited him at his dorm, we'd always sleep in the same bed. I visited him at his new place and got drunk. Went to bed before him because he went to get some food. And when I woke up, I was sleeping next to his, and let me make this abundantly clear, extremely attractive roommate. Got in the wrong bed, oops. Woke up face to face with a man and instinctively said hello, and I scared him. I don't know why I said that. All of this was very embarrassing. I don't know why he didn't just wake me up and kick me out. And he's so hot, I hate myself. This was years ago, and every time I see this man in public, he says hello to me. And this is my memory triggered. I would have just got with him. That's all the option you've got, and just get with him. Be like, listen, he's attractive, get with him. Why not? I had to take an emergency poo at work. Oh, poo related story is always funny. My colleagues and their students were sitting directly outside the bathroom. As I exit, I hear my colleagues talking to the kids about a stinky poo. I left immediately without talking because I had to have my own students to do after. Do I pretend this never happened, or do I apologise for the nuclear warfare? Pretend it did not happen. I'm sorry. This is why if I ever needed to use a public toilet, I will wait in that toilet for hours until no one sees me coming out of the stall. I cannot have somebody see me coming out of the stall or see me coming out of the bathroom. So I will just sit there and pretend I didn't go in. Let me tell you this one story, right? There was a girl who went to this guy's house, right? And she really desperately needed the toilet. But when you first dating a guy, she didn't want to have a poo in front of him. So he went upstairs to the toilet and he was having a shower or whatever. And she was desperate for a poo. So what she did was she saw cat litter there. So she decided, oh, just poo in the cat litter, right? What else can I do? I can't poo upstairs. I don't want him to see me. So she pooed in the cat litter. So anyway, a couple of hours later, they were getting it on or whatever. And he glances over and he looks at it and he's like, did you just poo in my cat litter? And she's like, no, what's wrong with you? I'm sure the cat did it. And he went, my cat's been dead for 2 weeks. So there was a guy who was dating this girl for a while, right? And what happened was she was like, oh, do you want to meet my grandma? Because her parents had passed away and she was being brought up by a grandma. And he was like, okay, cool. So he goes around to grandma's house, meets her, everything's all nice. They sat there chatting and he sees this like plate of peanuts and he's like, oh my God, I really want one. So anyway, when everyone's like chatting away or whatever, he grabs a handful or whatever and he just starts eating them. Then they start chatting and then once he starts eating one, you know what it's like with peanuts and you want to eat more, you want to eat more, you want to eat more. So he ends up caning them all, right? Anyway, so cut long story short, they finish the night, they end up leaving, and then before he goes, Grandma's like, thank you so much for finishing the peanuts. Ever since I've had these new dentures, I just suck the chocolate off and put the peanuts back. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for everyone that contributed again. These stories are hilarious. And remember, every Tuesdays on my Instagram stories, at Shabaz says, Povvo-Tea, I put a question up, answer it. If you don't want to submit it there, you can submit it at the email address info@shabazsays.com, which is linked down below. Comment, let me know what you thought. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next Thursday for another episode of Povvo-Tea. Take care, have a brilliant week. Bye! Oh, I'm thinking about some more embarrassing moments now and I want to die. I wish I hadn't brought the subject up.